Welcome to Tea Time with Kitty. Got me a nice cold cup of lemonade tea. Got some lighting going on, and I hope this works well. And we're about to get started in another minute. Thank you all so much for being such faithful people that joins in every week with me. I'm so thankful. Hello, Donald. Um, Today we're going to be talking about, do we use too much social media? And from the spin-off of, do we use too much social media, we're going to talk about social media in our relationships, as well as social media with us being overly materialistic. Like, the social media enhance us to enhance our spending, or it makes us want to use more money. So you said technology. Okay. Thank you, Christian. So do we use too much technology? And we're talking about social media. So thank you, Christian. Let me correct that. Do we use too much technology? And hi, sister. So we're gonna get ready to jump right on in. And you can chime in like Christian just did if you wanted to go back to technology as opposed to social media. But right now, I just want to hear from you. At this day and age, especially with COVID going on, and so many people working from home, and doing school from home, you should say social media. Okay, so do we use too much? Well, no, technology though, Christian, or social media technology. I'll go back and update it, because the reason why technology is because we're using devices, different types of devices, which is technology to get to the social media. So whether it's a computer, whether it's a cell phone, whether it's an iPad. So that's where we were going at with technology. But I will update it to social media because more and more of us are using social media. And but new cars and technology. Okay, got it, Christian. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to update it to, do we use too much social media, and how does social media influence our life? So you got, okay, got it, Christian. Got it. So do we agree? Yes or no? Do we use too much social media? And I will update it from technology. Thank you, Christian. Do we use too much social media? How do you feel about that? So that's the first question going out. And I need to see your responses before we move into the other parts of the show today. For those just coming on again, thank you so much for sipping with a sister and joining me today. I just want to say thank you. And I just want to know from you, and it doesn't have to just be yourself. It can be those in your household. It can be your spouse. It can be your children. Do we use too much social media? I know it must have been a few years ago, and we were having a dinner party for my dad, and I look over and Yanni down one way texting away, and Pookie another way texting away. So does anyone else have that encounter, like when you're having dinner with your children, or when you're out to dinner, not just with your children but with your spouse? Are they spending more time on Facebook or social media than actually focusing on you? People be having identity issues, and social media helps them be whatever they pretend to be. Wow. Okay, so that's very important. Okay, so you think that, because I know some people that are extremely quiet. With that being said, Christian, I know a lot of people that's extremely quiet, but they are way more verbal on social media. So they have way more to talk about. They give opinions, they give shout outs, but they are way much more engaging with they than they would be in real life. So you're saying that you feel like it helps them with their identity issues. So you feel like the reason that they're that way with social media is because it helps them with their identity a lot. Is that what you're saying? Help them pretend to be who they want to be. I'm still waiting for a few response. I know that we have Dawn on the line, we have Shamika on the line, we have Flood on the line, we have Christian. I haven't been able to see some other people in yet. So I just want to know, Donna and Shamika being teenagers, do we use too much social media? I know people who don't even like a pic of themselves, is it doesn't get enough likes. Oh, wow. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. So you're saying that that's kind of, isn't the word clout for that? So you're thinking that they need clout with even their own picture. So if they don't get enough likes on a picture, they tend to not like that picture of themselves. I say yes because technology is so advanced and consuming social media is like a drug to us now. Wow, very important, Donald. Okay, because we have so many more things on our phones and stuff on. So we lost a little bit of lightning, but it's still fine. Okay. On our phone, and we forget about everything else. So Donald, that's a very honest response. Thank you so much for that. Donald just saying that he feels that social media is consuming, but technology is advanced and it's consuming so much social media, like a drug, so that people tend to forget their obligation. And I don't think that it's just children. I think sometimes it's adults that we forget to do things because we're so engaged in social media. So Shamika, I know that you're out there, and if you don't want to comment on the screen, you can always send it to me on your phone. What are your takes on social media? Do you feel technology, social media, is consuming people's lives? Like, how do you feel about that? Christian had a really valid point where he talked about it lets people be who they want to be. So like, and he also talked about people not liking their own pictures if they don't get enough likes. I don't think that it really has anything to do with who's in a picture or how the person looks. I think that people like pictures based off how they like the person. So what do you think? What do you think about that? So like somebody may like you, like, like if my daughter posts a picture or my son posts a picture, or my best friend, people tend to just like their picture. So it's not so much as ugly or cute. They like the picture. Hi, sister. And we're talking about technology. And Christian had us to update it to social media as well. Excuse me, consuming our lives. And how do you feel about that? Is social media and technology consuming our lives? Are we able to go to dinner with our spouse or with our children or as a family unit and all put our phones down? Or are you out to dinner in your home or out to dinner in a restaurant and someone in the family is more than likely to pick up the cell phone? Sister, what is your take on that? It just amazes me how Nala is able to exit out when the ads come up on YouTube. Like a 1-year-old shouldn't know how to do that. I only use YouTube for the news and to watch the upcoming comedians. It also keeps my grandbaby happy. Yes, I put that on for Nala, and she knows how to skip the ads now. So I'm really proud of her with that. So I think social media is very important. I think that it's an outstanding platform for persons that you went to school with, a long distance family. I think it's an awesome platform to stay connected. But with anything, it gets to be a real thin line with overindulging in something. Yes, I'm a victim of consuming too much of social media. Okay, it's people who don't know how to use a computer but can use a phone. Yeah, and I think there is a lot of fear around that, Christian, because we even deal with that with dealing with the public. I think that people will, take on using their phone right away, grasp it, process it, get it down pat. But when you put them in front of a computer, it's more challenging. I don't know if it's like a small dog, big dog complex. Like most people see a small dog as something innocent. And a big dog as something dangerous. So I don't know if that has something to do with it, maybe the size of it. Okay, sisters, I hope you back in now. See, you said your phone was freezing. Okay, so what do you all think about social media and relationships? Do you think social media can affect a relationship? What is your take on that? Social media and relationships. And let's not forget that some people have met by way of social media. I know, and Christian will correct me if I'm wrong. I'm thinking that dating apps and things of that nature, that will also fall under a form of technology or social media. So when we talk about it, I don't think that it just ruins relationships. But I think it also has put relationships together. So it could be in a positive or a negative note. Has social media affected your relationship? And if so, how did social media affect your relationship? You get people all the time that's in relationships, especially when it's new relationships. They choose not to post one another on social media because someone may have something to say. So, in your opinion, how does that look? It makes the world smaller. Really? Okay, so it connects people more. Because I would challenge that. I know you say it makes it smaller. I think it actually makes it bigger because it shows more of a connection. It was a discussion I had with my fiance. He's not a social media user, and he reminds me if I'm too engaged during our time. And that's very important. And that's something to think back about because, hey, um, like I don't want you spending more time with the computer than me, and I am a Facebook user. Like, so I love Facebook. I love being on it. So now I have to be mindful of it when engaging with others. That is not important. I know that right before the pandemic hit, probably about a year or so. Before working from home, I had really gotten to the point at work where I could log in at work, maybe look at Facebook during my lunch, and would not touch Facebook again till I got home. Not got off work, but until I got home. And that meant a lot to me because it was affecting me at work, easily getting distracted, needing to see what's posted on there. So I had gave it up totally. And from the time I signed into work until the time I got home, I did not touch social media at all. Um, let's see, you can meet people online who live 1,000 miles away and have more of a connection with them than the person you grew up with. That is so true because personality is real. And like I said, it's a connection tool. So it puts you in place with people that you may not see. I know that my son has a long distance relationship. So whether it's by phone or whether it's by just internet experience, it gives us a way to connect. I know a couple who recently married from a long distance relationship because they were able to stay in touch. FaceTime, I'm thinking that that's a form of technology. If I'm not right with that, please correct me. But I'm thinking when we think about technology, I'm thinking that FaceTime, is a form of technology. So that means that you get to see that person while you're talking to them, and that definitely should help with some form of connection. Because you can't be all these places at once, so you can reach people or meet people quicker. Right, right. So Krishna, have you met someone? Not just on like a dating app, but have you met someone over social media? It could be someone because I know that the old me would have thought that it was weird, but I'm thinking that there's ways you can reconnect. So it could have been somebody you went to high school with and you haven't seen them in a long time, and you see them on social media, y'all having to link up. So I wouldn't think that that's weird per se. I know everybody has their own perspective, but just to give a little insight on that. So has anyone ever had a relationship, a successful relationship? And successful doesn't mean that you have to be with that person right here now today. It means that it was a relationship, came from it, something great came from that. Does anyone have a good experience of that as it relates to social media? I seen people from elementary school on Facebook. Very, very important. And it could have been somebody that you liked in first grade, and now you're 30 and you want to see that person a little bit more. So those are the positive sides of healthy relationships or meeting someone through technology and social media. It also helps you if you're a nosy person like myself, know where people at. Like sometimes people may not respond right away, but you may just FaceTime them and you get to see what's going on in the background, hear it, see it, and all that good stuff. Social media so social media made you a parent. So that's a great relationship. So are you saying that you met your child's mom on social media, and the outcome of meeting her on social media, you had a child? Is that about right? Oh, that's great. You can use social media, but you don't have to put your whole life on it. And that's very important. And I think of it as like a book. Like when you write a book, even when people do their autobiographies or books about their lives or whatever the case may be, the thing about a book is you get to hold back. You don't have to give everything. So you can put your insight in it, and kind of go from there, but you don't have to leave all of your put everything out there. You can hold back on names, dates, or whatever the case may be, and just hold back on that information because people do watch your social media to learn more about you. Let's see. I need for someone right now, at least two of you all, to hit the subscribe button. If you have not hit the subscribe button before, Please make sure right now you take this time to hit the subscribe button. And I think you can do it with every time you sip tea with me. It's entertaining for me. I don't think the world needs to know when you're getting put out of. Hold on, I don't even when you're getting put out through your ex-boyfriend. Hold on, I might be reading that wrong. When you're getting put out, or that your ex-boyfriend slept with your cousin. Oh, okay. So you mean like giving too much? Be mindful of pictures, and when you go on vacation, there are so many bad people out here. That's so important because I think that it was my sister who told me. I think it was my sister Midget told me that it was something to do with the child's school, so she don't even let people know what school her granddaughter goes to, so that you won't be able to catch pictures because people will you believe it or not, they don't even have to have your street address. They have technology now where people can put in your house number and then they can kind of Google and find you through your house number, especially if you have a house number that has like 5 digits because they're not as popular. So they can find you through that way. So make sure even when it gets down to your nice little cute sign on your house, don't even show that on social media. I know a rule of thumb for me, I always post that I'm somewhere after I leave. So if I'm at Roof Chris, I'm not going to post while I'm at Roof Chris. I'm going to take the pictures. And once I get in the car out the door, make it home, then I post it. So if you came there looking for me, I'm already gone. So that's just a rule of thumb that I use. I say yes and no because social media is so time consuming now, but it helps those people who's looking for a fresh start. Social media plays a big part. Let's see. Can't see here. 1 second so I can scroll up. Donna's response. Social media plays a big part because you can look for new relationships. Okay, so Donna, are you saying that you also date through social media and you think that that's a positive experience?
I mean, yeah, because you can.
So we're gonna hear from Donna with that. Do anyone else have any other things as it relates to relationships, social media, and technology? Anyone else have any other insight as it relates to that? Because we have about another minute here, and then we're moving into the next piece of social media. Social media / technology from a co-host. And we're going to get ready to move. So if there's anyone that has anything, relationships can mean friends and career wise. And it's definitely, Christian, that was a good thing to point out. It's definitely a connection tool. So it's definitely a tool to help you connect. So it's definitely that, you may see that someone works somewhere and want to ask them a question that you've been on hold for 2 hours. Like I was on hold for, with motor vehicle today. And after I was on hold for about 40 minutes, somebody picked up and hung up on me, and I was upset. And it made me think back about my experience with the call center. That these customers hold all this time for us to get on the phone, and someone even hangs it up. Do you know how rude that is? Just anybody that works in a call center or knows someone that works in a call center, whether it's DHS call center, whether it's Verizon, whether it's MBA. Do you know how rude? Like you're a real mean person. Because you know what your hold times is. I know when I worked in a call center, our hold time sometimes was 2 hours. So I know that I'll have some ballpark figure of what your hold time experience is at your job. So you are a really mean person to let somebody hold 40 minutes and just pick up the phone and hang it up. And don't get me wrong, I know sometimes it's technical issues, but sometimes it's human issues. So, you may really want to look for another job because when I first came to social services, we couldn't discriminate against smell, people having a rash. There's so many things that you come in contact when you're interacting with someone face to face. And you don't have to deal with them face to face. You get to just deal with them over the phone, and you can't do that. So if that's you or someone please help them go to Indeed right away and start looking for another job. Like that's truly a must. I feel like social media is a distraction and it causes people to get hurt. Okay, so Shamika feel like social media causes people to get hurt. So Shamika, I'm gonna need a little bit more with that. When you say it causes, like, I don't know if it means like get a relationship and when you get a boyfriend or girlfriend, it's unrealistic, so you end up getting hurt at the end. I need some more room around that. So let's go into social media with kids. I think most of us on here, someone just responded. I think kids under 13 shouldn't have social media profiles on adult sites like Instagram and Twitter. What is your take on that? Okay, so let me read that to you again from a tea sipper. I think kids under 13 should not have social media profiles on adult sites like Instagram and Twitter. Now the person didn't say Facebook, but I want to ask about Facebook as well. Should kids under the age of 13 access these websites? What is your take on that? I mean, because you can expand more, you can find new people that have the same likings and stuff. Um, just been in the same area and everything the same. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. So when we get back to that, um, Donald, and I'll try to see if I can wrap back up to that because we kind of moved on to something else. But I would like to hear that because, like I said, I've never did a dating website. I always thought about it before, but never went through with it. But we will come back to that for you. So Kiki is saying no, they shouldn't. She's saying no child under 13 should have social media. They only become adult sites when people do adult things on them because these are not porn sites. Okay, so you're right, Christian. They're not porn sites, which is true. But the fact of adults being adults, some things that adults do are totally inappropriate for children. So sometimes it could be the things we wear. I see all types of things up and down Facebook, even though I don't have the other sites. But they're almost show a lot. Even though Facebook, I know, will take something down, but once something is done, it's hard to undo it. I'm sorry you missed out, sister. Okay. So I may need to get social media because this is the only way I can see friends and family's pictures. That's so true. Definitely a two. So Tamika, just to bring you up a little bit. So we talked about technology and social media. Are we using it too much? And then we kind of went into that from that into social media and relationships. Like, how do you feel like it affects your relationship? And then we just went into um, children 13 and under should not be on it. That's my site. I wouldn't want a 13-year-old girl seeing it. Exactly. So we talked about kids 13 and under should not be on social media. So I'm just trying to get some more takes as it relates to that. What is your take on it? Should kids under 13 be on social media? I would even say 16. I know 16 is kind of old at this day and time now that people are a little bit more advanced. But I mean, I don't even understand like some of the stuff I see on social media. I don't think that your 16-year-old should see it. Absolutely not. It's too much going on in today's world. Let's not forget about our predators searching for kids. Also, kids having access to certain things only adults should be able to view. Exactly, because they can just lie about their age. I feel as though kids have so much technology now and they all just be on their phones. Things that kids need to be kids. So I could say no because okay, so basically saying no that they shouldn't be on it. I use it too much, which is why I take frequent breaks. It's very influential and cause self-esteem issue. Okay, Mika, you jump right in right on time. The next thing we're going into is do you feel like social media, Facebook, Instagram, do you feel that it makes the world more materialistic? Um, Someone shared with me, and it makes a lot of sense about a year or two ago. One of my sisters shared with me that social media did something to her as a single woman. Like she means that like being a single woman, when she would go on social media, it seems like everybody was married and having children. And she felt like that did something to her. So she initially stopped joining on. I'm just trying to get your light back on. So she initially stopped joining on social media for a while because she felt like it was too much. So has anyone had an experience of such? Let me just stop this. So has anyone had an experience with that when we talk about self-esteem and all those types of things? Um, They can with parental oh, okay. And Kiki, absolutely, but I'm not sure was the absolutely. I don't know if you got caught up into the two, but I'm hoping that you're talking about social media and how it influences us. Like, I mean, like it's nothing for like social media made people like Real Housewives of Atlanta or Real House Pops of Facebook. Like it's real. It creates fake images and people tend to idolize what they see. Now everyone has to go to the same restaurants with the same type of clothes. That's a valid point because I have never I just was introduced to Milano this year, but to see, I know at my daughter's baby shower, someone bought Yari a Burberry outfit for $180. So I think that and me, I like purses, like shoes, like nice things, but like wow, 180 for a newborn, like how many wears with a newborn? Of course, you're only gonna wear it once. But how many, outfits do somebody get? I mean, like the baby got boots, the baby got is it hold on, Milano. So like isn't that way because of social media? Like people see a situation and they outdo. Now I am extra anyway, so I upstage a lot, period. Have always been that way before social media, just to make those I love happy. But do you feel that life is a competition because of social media? Let's see. If you are not materialistic, social media wouldn't make you materialistic unless you was already insecure about your own lifestyle. I don't know, because I've seen some nice things on social media. I may didn't get it, but I've definitely seen some shades and some bags that make me be like, dang, I wouldn't mind having that. So, and I'm definitely not the old materialistic person I was years ago. Absolutely. People are so engulfed in social media and they feel like what they see on social media is what's real. It gives off false realities. Definitely gives off false realities. Okay. Yes, because when you're on social media, like I said, it's a drug. And so being a drug, it causes people to do everything that the next person does and makes people feel like they need to outdo each other. And on that note, Donald, on that note, let me say this. I am not one. Now, everybody know I'm silly. I like to laugh a little bit. But I do not believe in posting people at their fault. Even if I may need to send it to Diamond or if I may need to send it to Midget and laugh. But just to out people, like, them men when they take that, I don't know if they take boat or perks now, but it make them get buck naked. Um, and they're in the middle of the street. I would not record that person. I know a lot of people do it, and the reason why I wouldn't record it is because I look at life this way. We love our parents regardless. We love our children regardless. And even if they're at their bottom, we don't want to be affected. So yeah, you're showing this guy and you're laughing at him. Oh, look at this big nigga in the middle of the street, butterball. But what if his daughter sees that? Like, and it's not even when we talking about the age of 13 and 16. What if his 25-year-old daughter who's been struggling with his addiction since she was 5 years old? Because when people have addictions, it's not just their addiction, it's the family's addiction too. So I don't believe in outing people. So like I couldn't dare, and I see it all the time, I couldn't dare video somebody getting stomped out or somebody running down the street with their little balls jiggling and things like that. I just couldn't. So I just want to know for the next few minutes, we only have a few seconds. How do you feel about that? Is that a yes or a no? Would you post somebody in disgrace? But that's not the same, kid. You basically saying you see something online you like that everybody. Oh, okay. Right. Okay. Got it. Me either. So Kiki, so you're agreeing with me that you wouldn't post that either because I just feel like an addiction is something that a family struggles with, and there's so many people I love that has been users and abusers. So I definitely would want to see somebody I love making a bad decision because of drugs. I definitely wouldn't want to see my kids or someone I love getting beat up or shot, just the things that people expose. And when we talked about that with kids under 13, it's not just the fact of them watching sexual related things, but just seeing things they shouldn't see. Like I know it was a shooting that they was posting on social media. I believe it happened at Anacostia Station. And when the shooting went on, one mother was walking past with her child. So do you know how traumatizing that is? And this wasn't even at night. This was at broad daylight. She's probably picking the child up from school. She's probably coming from work. They probably about to go in the house and make some spaghetti. Life is great other than public transportation. And to see someone be shot and this child looked like they were about 5 or 6. Like that to me is like devastating. So social media do, even though it's a great tool, like I always say, it's a good and a bad. Should kids even be presented with any of those types of things? So it's very important that we safeguard them from certain things because social media can be a very unhealthy, even though it's a great thing, it can be very unhealthy. The very bad side of social media nowadays is that the person can be getting beat to death, and you will see 10 phones out instead of help. Nobody calls 911 anymore, right? Kiki said exactly. Nobody calls 911, and it makes me think of back to whenever I would take CPR class. They always say I shouldn't say somebody go call 911. I need to say, hey, you in the striped shirt, go call 911. You in the red jacket, go call 911. Because if you don't say that and point that out, people will be so engaged with recording that no one calls for help. And you could be getting stabbed, you could be getting shot, you could be getting beat up, and people are getting their phone out not to call 911, but they are getting their phone out to video. And sometimes we just have to stop and thank God first and foremost and just ask for protection. But we have to stop and think that a lot of things will not go on in real life or social media if we stopped and thought about if it was us or someone we love. Like that really would, you would think twice about those types of things. So as we get ready to wrap up, Tea Time with Kitty, you all are the best. I'm so thankful for you all joining in with me. I am looking for some co-hosts. So if there's something that you want to discuss or want on the air, please feel free to send it to my phone, 202-758-8941. Or if you would like to join me, I'm still waiting for my niece, Rajanique. She's getting her topic together and she wants to do a roundtable discussion. I'm still looking forward to doing a youth version of it that I want co-hosted by my niece, Jordan. So those two things I'm definitely looking to take place over the summer before they get back in school. And when she does this session, if you have a child, and I would say really a teenager, so my target audience for Mumu would be 13 to 19, and my target audience for Rajanique will be somewhere between 16 and 30. I think that, so I want to do shows. So if you know someone, please keep them in touch. I know with Mumu Jordan, she's going to be talking about a lot of informative information. So we're going to get them a venue set up where we can do a roundtable discussion. It'll be so important to me if you will have your youth they're involved. Even if they don't want to respond themselves, they can just tell you and you can comment for them. And we'll kind of go from there. So again, it's Wednesday, Women Crush Wednesday to all my sisters, Male Crush Monday to all my brothers. And thank you all so much for sipping with a sister.
Lemonade.
Mm-hmm.